Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Troll.
(1974 to 1977). Welcome back, baseball fans of 1974-77 Carryover League. We have a series today in the National League East between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Florida Marlins. Divisional round, best of 7 series, long series, important series, believe it or not, as the Marlins came into this series with a .500 record, which is great news for a young team that's always up against the odds. The longest odds of any team to make the playoffs. They don't exist, of course. We gave them a team, fictional team, taking leftover players from a lot of other teams, unprotected players, taken young who blossom late, so they steal them from organizations. They took Hal McRae away from Cincinnati before he gets to Kansas City. They took Ed Figueroa from California before he gets to New York. They took Scott McGregor before he gets to Baltimore. They'll eventually trade some of those pieces away, as of for instance. Phillies are in the wheelhouse here. They're just, they should be getting into this National League East thing here. They should be the top dog, and they're having a decent year. A good year, actually. Not spectacular, but a solid year. Let's go show you what's happened. Game 1. Steve Carlton, Pete Falcone, battle lefties. In this one, the Marlins, boy, they really get to Carlton. They rock his world here, folks. Montanez walks, 2-base error on Jerry Martin, RBI single, Marv Lane, RBI 2-run single, Mota, there's 3. 2-run homer by Jose Morales. That's 5. Phillies got a couple back on a 2-run homer by Luzinski. Double, single, double again. It's a 6-2 game. Oscar Zamora comes in to close this thing out late. Runs into some trouble in the 9th. Manages to get a double play to end the game with the tying runs on the bases. 6-2 lead turns into a 6-4 victory. Pete Falcone, 7 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. Carlton, just not a good day at all. 7 innings, 12 hits, 6 runs, only 3 earned, walked and struck out 5. Okay, you beat lefty. Now what? What's the next step, Marlins? That's a big get, beating Carlton. Now you got Pat Dobson versus Don Wilson, and unfortunately, Don Wilson, they went and got in the offseason to the Marlins to be their ace, and he struggled all year. He just walks too many batters. And the Phillies take a walk on the wild side today. First inning, double, walk, walk, double play, walk, walk, double. A little bit of palindrome kind of thing. You see that? Kind of turns itself around like a snake there. Double, walk, walk, double play, walk, walk, double. See that? Okay, I see it anyway. Another run in the 2nd. Home run in the 4th, you get the idea. 5 hits and 3 runs in the 6th. It's an 8-2 win for Pat Dobson, a very effective under-the-radar signing by the Phillies 4 years ago. Because Dobson had a nice little run on many different teams, including Baltimore and then the Yankees and I think Cleveland. They all had him for a little bit, for like a year or two. And now he's a Philly and doing quite well. 8-2 victory. Let's continue. All tied up a game apiece. That means Philly has home field. Game number 3. It's Dave Lemanchek versus Larry Christensen in this. And low-scoring affair. Marlins might regret that. Marlins, when they can hold their opponents to 3 runs or less, look pretty good. Because they have a good offense. But not today. They couldn't figure out Larry Christensen. Christensen goes 8 innings, 5 hits, a run. Tug McGraw gets a save. And Dave Lemanchek, well, he put 13 men on in 7 innings, but just gave up 3 runs. It's enough. And the Phillies lead 3-1. 3-1 victory means they're up 2-1 in the series, is how I should say that. So we go to Game 4, and we have Game 1 pitchers on short rest, both of them. Falcone, Carlton, and would you believe? Yeah. But it's how it happens, folks. Montanez walks, McRae strikes out, Marv Lane walks, and then Felix putting me on. Felix, of the one home run in 7 plate appearances. Dinger! Felix me on. If you're going to have 1 homer in 700 plate appearances, it might as well be a 3-run homer. In a game your team wins 4-3, in a game where your team beats Steve Carlton twice in 4 days, because that's what happened. The Phillies answer right back in the bottom of the 2nd inning. They bat around. Single, a triple by Griffin, a walk by Martin, RBI singles, Maddox McCarver, it's 3-3. But in the 6th inning, the Marlins get a double single by Montanez and McRae, make it 4-3, and that's it for Falcone. Falcone gives up a single in the 6th, a double stranded in the 8th, 3 up and 3 down in the 9th. So Falcone, 9 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, 6 Ks. Carlton only gave up 4 hits. But one of these is a ridiculous home run that probably hit the pole. He probably yanked that down the line somehow. A changeup or something. It was looking changeup, yanked it down the line, bounced off the pole at like 312 feet. Something like that. I don't know. But Carlton, again, did walk 6 batters in this game. And 2 of those 3 guys who scored were walks. Series tied 2 apiece. Florida regains home field. And then they cannot close the deal in Game 5. Don Wilson versus Bill Bonham this time. Should be a slugfest because Wilson struggled all year. Now Wilson's pitching a decent game. And the Marlin offense goes away again, just like it did against Larry Christensen. They can't do anything. And they lose 4-2 in this. It's a 2-0 game early, 2-1, 4-1, 4-2. Bill Bonham, 7 innings, 7 hits, a run. And Marlins, that's a mistake. You're supposed to knock him around, and you didn't. Tub McGraw gets a save, 2-inning save. Don Wilson's pitching better, though. 7 innings, 4 runs. The Marlins have beat Steve Carlton twice. They can't beat anybody else. So the Phillies lead this series 3-2 back in Florida for Game 6 and Game 7. If the Marlins can win Game 6, they got Carlton for the 3rd time in Game 7. Falcone will not pitch Game 7. The way the schedules fall for the teams in their next matchup, Falcone has to pitch Game 1 of that. Phillies have a day off, so that's why Carlton is pitching Game 7 and Falcone is not. Today's matchups, it's Pat Dobson for the Phillies. He won earlier. Was a Yankee in 74. 19-game winner for the Yankees. 307 ERA, 281 innings. Probably outpitched Doc Medich. Probably outpitched Mel Stottlemyre, if I was guessing. And the Marlins, well, they're going to go with Fred Arroyo. He was a Detroit Tiger in 75. A 4.58 ERA in 53 innings. He's your number 4 starter. The weak link of the rotation. Bullpen on high alert today. They can go lefty-righty, lefty-righty if they need to. They practically will. It's an elimination. If they lose this game, they'll have Dave LeManchuk in Game 7 versus Steve Carlton. So the Marlins on high alert, be aggressive, see if you can steal one today to keep the series going. From Miami, leading off for the Phillies, it's Tim McCarver. 55, he walks. Gary Maddox, 48, he lines it short. Jay Johnstone, 1-3. It's a 3-6-3 double play. Manny Mota, 4-5. Pops the first. If you're wondering, Mota, we have the Manny Mota rules. 3 plate appearances or 6 innings, and then he has to exit the game. Roland off is 57, is a K. And Willie Montanez, 59 Ks. Top of 2, it's Greg Lucinski, 55, walks. Gary Thomason 1-5 is a 6-4-3 double play. The twin killing is helped Arroyo. Mike Schmidt 62. Come back to the mound. Bottom of 2, it's Hal McRae. 1-5. Let's take a look at Hal McRae's card. He had made it to Kansas City by 74 with this card and plays some third base with it. And he's been playing third base for the Marlins for the 4th year in a row with this card, and next year he can't do it. They got to figure out something else for third base because Hal McRae never carries an infield glove with him the rest of his career at that point. A 3.10 average, 15 dingers, 36 doubles. 1-5, homer 1-17. It is gone. Marlins lead 1-0. I got Jose Morales. 210 single. Veda Pinson 46. Single to right field. Morales drags a big boat anchor around the bases with him. He'll plop that down at second for now. Look at the tide. Let's see how his boat starts listing in an attempt to get to third. Felix Millan 66. Base hit center field, and that's what we're talking about. He picks up boat anchor off second base, jogs down to third, drops it off. Bases are loaded. One out, nobody out. And it's shortstop Mike Phillips. 1/7 a strikeout. Ellie Rodriguez. 3-7. Let's take a look at Ellie Rod's card. He has a -2 armor. You know what, folks? He has been gunning down Phillies throughout this series. Maddox, cut him down. Schmidt, cut him down. Boa, cut him down. Cut him down with a -2 arm. Great on-base percentage throughout his career. Great keen eye. I don't know if he ever managed, but it seems like he probably would have been a good manager. Would he have not? A catcher with a good batting eye? I mean, you know, in the history of catchers being managers of teams, I would just surmise he'd be good at that sort of thing. Maybe not. 3-7 is a base hit to center field. 1 run scores. Pinson with 1 out. Do you run him against the... No. You got a -2 arm in center field. Let's settle down a little bit and go for a big inning. Bases loaded, 1 out, and you got Manny Mota up. 2-3 is a fielder's choice. That will score a run. Runners on the corners for Roland Office. 1-7, base hit to center field. That'll score another run, and Mota will hold it second. Willie Montanez, a singles fest after the homer. 2-6, let's take a look at Montanez's card as they bat around here. He hit .302 in 75 for the Giants. Played for a lot of different teams in the 70s. The Phillies, the Giants, the Expos, the Padres, the Pirates. Leaving anybody out? Maybe. 2-6, double 1 and 2. That is an RBI single. They bat around. It is already 5-zip. With 2 outs, and it's Hal McRae again. The 10th batter to reach. 1-8 is a base hit to right field. That scores another run. Office scores. Montanez will just stay at second, and it's Jose Morales. 1-8 is a K to end the threat. Now, how many hits have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. So we get a couple base runners in the third. We'll call it a point of weakness for Dobson. Down 6-0. Are the Phillies the type of team to come back? Yeah. Yeah, you'd have to say that. You have to say that, you know, you remember the Phillies, you remember the offense. You don't necessarily remember the Tom Underwoods, the Larry Christensens, the Jim Lonborgs. Sure, lefty, but Dick Ruthven, you know. You think of the bats, and they need them. They need them to win the series in 6. Boa leads off. 110, rounds a third. I mean, it's Fred Arroyo out there. He's a starter 5 anyway. You should be able to at least knock him out of the game. Doug Griffin, 67. There you go. Double 1 4 fly ball. It's a fly ball. Nice little out there on the Arroyo card. Just noticed. Tony Muser, 1-7. There's a grounder to first. Fred Arroyo goes through the lineup. Couple walks, couple double plays. Bottom of the third. It's Veda Pinson. 55. Homer 1 4. Triple 1 4. Base hit for Veda. Ace stealer. Miano hit and run. Hit and run. He gets the double on the 2. I think that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, he's at the point of weakness, but at this point, he's going to limp through this inning so as not to damage his bullpen, is what we're going to try and do with Dobson. But the dots on the pitcher's card come into play here. Second and third, nobody out. It is Mike Phillips. 5'11", pitcher X. Dobson's an E15. It's a single off the pitcher's card. So we're getting everything today, folks. And you're seeing the Marlins at the height of their powers, having some fun on YouTube. How about that? You know, like I said last time we saw these cats on here, or these fish on here, if you don't have a team, folks, you know, if the Yankees aren't your bag, or the Dodgers, or the Red Sox, the Cubs, White Sox, Orioles, if you just don't have one and it doesn't really matter too much for you, jump on the Marlin bandwagon. They need fans. They need friends. They need to start a friends channel here, a sub channel, because they have the longest odds of any franchise in this, because 4 expansion teams are in one division all by themselves, which means one of those 4 expansion teams goes to the playoffs every year. Then you have the Expos, Toronto, Seattle. You got the Ohio players. They're all in mediocre. The Marlins have the longest road trying to get past the Braves, the Mets, and the Phillies, all of which almost made the playoffs a year ago. The Phillies didn't quite make it. And there's that. Back to the game. Runners on the corners, no one out. It's Ellie Rodriguez. 2-5, is that a walk? It's center B question mark. We should just run this guy so that we might get an out to help our opponent here navigate this game. Mian's going to run, and he scores on a 9. Runner at first with 1 out, and it's Mo. He might leave now after this at bat. 46, base hit left field, and pinch running for him. I think we don't need Mo at this point. We'll go Tovar to run for him. And you got first and second with 1 out, and it's Office. 3-7 is a K, and Montanez. 3-11 flies to right field, and that will do it. 3 horrendous innings for Pat Dobson. After we were touting the praises, he had pitched well all year long until today, when he had a bad Cuban sandwich before the game, gave him a little indigestion, and the Marlins made him look silly. 8-0. We go to the 4th. It's Tim McCarver, 68, base hit. Gary Maddox, 5'11", second X. Second X. Your second baseman is Mian's a 2, and it's a double play on the Mian defense. Johnstone, 1-9, single. Luzinski, 42, center. All right, long relief. We go Max Scarse in the 4th. Probably, we'll see the whole bullpen most likely, except for McGraw. We got to save our closer for Game 7. So with Carl, you figure Carlton McGraw will solve Game 7. Everybody else can pitch this one. Starting with Max Scarce. 74 Philly, 5.01 ERA in 70 innings. The long man. It's long man time here. I don't even know who leads off. Who made the final out? Montanez. So Hal McRae leads off. 2-9 short. Morales 4-10. Short X. Boa's a 1E12. Makes the play. And let's see. Veda Pinson will lead the game. That way you can go to defense as well. At this point. Marvin Lane. 69. Triple 1-3 is a double. And Felix Mian. 64, center. 8-zip in the 5th. It's Gary Thomason, 310, Ks. Schmidt, 57, is a K. And Boa, 66, is a base hit. Doug Griffin, 56, is a K. Fred Arroyo gets through 5. Bottom of the 5th from Florida. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Yeah, I know you guys got a lot to do today. You got to get on the roof, clear that rain spout out today. I know, you've been postponing it for a long time. It's a nice day. Do it now. Don't wait. So I'll try and get you through this quick. I'll speed this up with an 8-run deficit here. Mike Phillips, 55. Short X. Boa 1E12 makes the play. Ellie Rodriguez, 6'10". Homer 105 double. Tovar in the leadoff spot, 310 left. And with 2 outs, it's Office. 3-9, center. Fred Arroyo, we'll just keep going with him until he hits point of weakness. Might as well. He needs to eat his innings. Tony Muser, 2-6, second. Boy, the Marlins got to be happy knowing that Steve Carlton's pitching Game 7, right? Tim McCarver, 48, pops to first. And Maddox, 2-7, grounds to short. The whole Philly team went out for Cuban sandwiches, and they did not. Yeah, it's Montezuma's revenge or something like that. Bottom of the 6th inning. Scarce, 2-2-2. Let's go do this in twos. Let's put in Gene Garber in the 6th for a couple. Show and tell Philly bullpen alert. Garber in 74 for the Phillies, a 2.06 ERA in 48 innings. After leaving Kansas City, where they were trying to figure out, is he a starter, is he a reliever, is he not that good? Philadelphia says, Gene, we'll just keep you in the bullpen, and you'll do totally fine. And he did. And then he was traded to the Braves later on. Nice career, long career. Bottom of the 6th, it's Montanez. 2-7, single. McRae, 110, single left field. We're going to put Guerrero in for him just to rotate the stock and get everybody in the game and get all the defense they can in the game. He'll go to short. Phillips goes to third. Morales, 58, short X. Boa, 1E12, double play. Runner goes to third on the double play for Marvin Lane. 47's a single to right field. That scores a run. Marvin's 2 for 2. What do you say about that, Marvin? Felix Mian, 66, fly ball left. All right, Fred Arroyo is continuing with a 3-hitter into the 7th. Johnstone, 68, base hit. Luzinski, 33, short A. No, it's a base hit because you had to hold Johnstone on. Runners on the corners for Gary Thomas and 1-6. That is a plus, but you're not holding Luzinski on. It's a fielder's choice. Run scores, runner at first, 1 out, Mike Schmidt. 46, right field. And with 2 outs, Boa, 3-6, single dot dot. Runners on the corners, that is the point of weakness. 6 2/3, much longer than I thought this cat was going to go. 6 2/3 for Arroyo. And now you're going to see, coming out of the bullpen, this is one of the clever moves the Marlins make. Scott McGregor. In 1976, this card threw 15, that's right, 15 innings. That's it. And Strat made the card. Thank you, Strat. I need lefties. So the Marlins gobbled this guy up as the Orioles weren't going to bring McGregor up for a few more years. Well, now they can't because the Marlins stole him out of your farm system. So now the Orioles have to go trade for him in an off season or two. And when that happens, the Marlins will... What do you think the Marlins are going to do? They're going to do what they did with the Figueroa trade with the Yankees. They're going to demand a lot. How else do you expect this team to get good? They literally have to steal other teams' players when they're babies out of the nest, struggle with a lousy Scott McGregor card for a couple years, and then trade him to the team he's destined to play for. McGregor comes on in the 7th with a runner at runners on the corners. And it's Doug Griffin. 2-9, he grounds the third, and the inning is over. 9-1 affair from Florida. Stretch time here. We are enjoying this incredible Afro-Cubism LP featuring Ilyes Ochoa and some Malian musicians across continents getting together to play together. Had the opportunity to see this act live. It was fantastic. You know, half the catalog is Cuban classics, the other half is African classics. course, the instruments, some novel instruments played by the African musicians in this. It's a fantastic piece of music. Back in 2010, an hour long. Let's put some volume on this. Here you go, folks. Bottom of the 7th. Phillips. Single. Rodriguez. Single. Tovar. Short X. Double play. Office. Cover 1 to 2. Double. Double scores a run. Montanez. Walks. Guerrero. Singles. Will run Office. He scores. 2 on, 2 outs. Morales. 2-8. Single dot dot. They can't stop themselves, folks. On the corners lane. Rounds the short. 3 more runs for the Marlins. Turn this down a little bit again. Afro-Cubism. 3 more runs. It's a 12-1 affair. My goodness. McGregor will continue into the 8th. It's talking Tony Muser. Batting for him. Get some bench players into some action. Tony Taylor, 67. Base hit. Batting for McCarver will be Bob Boone. Boone, 54. Flies are 8. Gary Maddox, 4-7 center. And with 2 outs, batting for Johnstone, Jerry Martin. And that's the entire bench of the Phillies being used. 1-5 and Jerry Martin. Let's take a look at the card. You know, hey, you got to look at all the cards. So Jerry Martin was brought on board this year. They needed an outfielder with reasonable defense who could hit lefties. And Martin, well, he can't hit righties, so we just say he hits lefties. As he hit 212. He's a 3. So he's better than Luzinski, who's a 4. But that doesn't matter because there's a lot of extra base hits versus lefties. We like that, including this one. 1-5. That's a home run. It's 12-3. Now you got Luzinski, the DH. 56 is a walk. Gary Thomason, 2-7, single 1 to 15. He lines out on a 20. Mercy. Inning's over. We'll pull McGregor too. All right, bottom of the 8th inning. We'll go to Wayne Twitchell. So we'll have Twitchell and McGraw for Game 7. All of the Marlin bullpen will be available. Wayne Twitchell in the 8th. Comes in. He'll face Mian. 4-8, single 1, line out. Mike Phillips, 112. Okay. And with 2 outs, Ellie Rod, 6'11". First X. First baseman, Muser. No, actually Tony Taylor, 46. Makes the play. All right, 9th inning. And we'll go to Eduardo Rodriguez to close this thing out. Eduardo Rodriguez was a Brewer in 74 with a 3.62 ERA and 112 innings to complete the game. And then we'll look at some, well, we'll just go to the Game 7 and the box score. So Mike Schmidt, 6'10", center X, center fielder. Office, a 2E14, makes the catch. Boa, 4'9", walks. He goes to second without a throw. Doug Griffin, 3'6", double single. Single, he scores, 12-4. Tony Taylor, 112. Pitcher A, double play to end the madness. There it is, in the books now. 12-4 is the final. Dobson, of course, loses. Arroyo wins. Series tied, 3 games apiece. We'll give you the box score of this game after the break and the results of Game 7 Steve Carlton, Dave Lemanchek from Florida. So stay tuned. All right, folks, here's the box score from the game you just saw. The Marlins convincing 12-4 victory over the Phillies. Marlins, 12 runs, 22 hits, folks. 22 hits for the Marlins. It's not hard to, that's, you know, come on. That's, give them a break. Everybody got a hit, including 2 of the 3 players who came in off the bench got hits. Everybody got 2 hits except for Manny Mota, who only got 1 hit in this thing. A 12-4 destruction of Pat Dobson, Garber, Scarsay, and Twitchell. So let's get to, because I know you're eagerly waiting, the amazing Game 7 of Phillies Marlins. And who would have ever thought the amazing Game 7 of Phillies Marlins? All right. Steve Carlton, still, 3rd start, looking for an opportunity to beat the Marlins against Dave Lemanchek. Bottom of the 2nd inning, after singling a couple outs, a 2-base error on Gary Thomason, but the runners are stranded. Top of the 3rd inning, 3 up and 3 down. Lemanchek has got 9 up and down. Bottom of the 3rd, after an out, another 2-base error on Gary Thomason. This time there's a 2-out single, and it's 1-zip. The Phillies get their first hit in the 4th and is stranded. They get a double in the 5th and is stranded. In the 6th inning, you get a Griffin single, McCarver walk, Maddox walk, bases loaded, nobody out. They're finally figuring out Lemanchek after the great start. But he gets Johnson to fly out, Luzinski to pop out, and Thomason in a fielder's choice. But it's just 1-0. By the way, Manny Mota singles and gets injured to start the game. Tovar has to pinch run, gets caught stealing. Then in Tovar's 2nd at-bat, he reaches on that 2-base error and scores, or it's just, technically his first at-bat. He was on the base, of course, pinch running for Mota. But he strikes out and gets hurt in the 5th inning. They're down 2 left fielders. Mota's gone. Tovar's gone. Vada Pinson's got to finish the game. And they only have 1 other player on the bench. Anyway, it's 1-1. Excuse me, it's 1-zip. We go to the 7th. Mike Schmidt leads it off with a solo shot on his card. So it's 1-1. Couple walks, they're stranded. Bottom of the 7th, a single, stranded. The Phillies go quietly in the 8th. Bottom of the 8th inning, another great opportunity for the Marlins against Carlton. You get a Vada Pinson walk, an office single. You get a caught stealing, a walk, and a point of weakness here. So after the point of weakness, Carlton is left in to face one more batter because he's a lefty, Montanez, and he got him out. So Carlton stayed in the game for that final out, but then left after 8 innings. Lemanchek is the starter 8. He pitches the 9th inning. He gets a single, a ground out, puts him in scoring position. Doug Griffin, a 2-out single. They run Schmidt. He gets thrown out the plate by the +1 arm of Vada Pinson. The game is still tied. The Marlins go 3 up and 3 down in the bottom of the 9th against Tug McGraw. We go to the 10th, but we have the runner at second rule because Lemanchek does not meet the pedigree of a number 1 or number 2 starter. Poor guy, even though he pitched brilliantly. The runner at second is Doug Griffin. First batter, you get a nubber in front of the plate, moves the runner to the 3rd. Infield comes up. You get a ground out. Runner holds. 2 out. Pinch hitter for Jay Johnstone is Tony Taylor, who crushes lefties. So Tom Bergmeyer walks him to face Luzinski. He does get the single to score the run. Then the inning's over. So the Phillies get the 1 run. All right, bottom of the 10th. Mario Guerrero is the runner at second. You get a comebacker to the mound. Runner stays at second base. Then Pinson strikes out. 2 outs. Runner at second. Then you get a walk to Roland Office. First and second. Then you get a walk to Jose Morales. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Tie run at third, winning run at second. And Hal McRae on his card rolls 3-8. 3 9's a walk, 3 8's a fly ball to left field. And that's the difference of this game and series in a Game 7. The Phillies win 2-1. And who would have thought that it was the pitching that got them? And the Marlins' general lack of hitting and losses to Bonham, lost to Christensen, and here they technically lost to Carlton and McGraw. Carlton, 8 innings, 6 hits, 1 unearned run, 2 walks, 5 Ks. McGraw, 2 shutout innings. Lemanchek, 9 innings, 6 hits, a run, 4 walks, 6 Ks. Bergmeyer takes the loss in the 10th, 2-1. So the Phillies win the series 4-3. We can look at some stats here. The Marlins are very respectable, and they've earned the respect of the other teams in the National League East with this performance, and they're 9-10. So their season is continuing fine. They still can get into the playoffs with a 9-10 record, and they still have to play the rest. We'll look at the schedule. Falcone is 3-1. Zamora's got 5 saves. Not a lot of power on this team. McRae's 26 for 78. He's hitting .333. And I think that's about it. 26 for 78 for them. And the Phillies, I think they're 4 over 500. They're 10-6. Carlton's just 2-2. Dobson's 3-2. Christensen 2-0. Bullpen's got a couple wins. McGraw's got 5 saves. You got 5 homers and 15 RBIs for Luzinski. Schmidt had a homer in that game. He has 4 for the year. Leading hitter, it's got to be Gary Maddox. He's 28 for 64. And Gary Maddox is hitting .438. He's your team MVP. Let's look at the overall standings. It's a fascinating series, and gosh, it's so cool to see the Marlins being not only just competitive, but have a real chance to make a playoff bid. Here's the current standings. Mets and Braves still have to play. It's really the Braves falling out of it. That's the biggest story here. Marlins hanging around, and the Phillies and Mets both look pretty good. They've won most of their series, obviously, with the the 7-33 and 6-2-5 ball they're playing. The remaining schedule for these two clubs, after we plug in the 4-3 result for this, Florida 9-10 and Philadelphia 10 oh, I put it in the wrong spot, did I not? Yeah, put it right here. 4-3. There we go. Yeah. 11-4 Mets, 10-6 Phillies, 9-10 Marlins. Marlins play interleague series against Cleveland. So that'll be interesting. A replay of the 1997 World Series, and they finish against Atlanta, who might be out of it by then completely and not have anything to play for. Good news for Florida. Phillies have to play Atlanta first, but they finish with the Mets in what will ultimately determine first place for the All-Star break. Break up the Phillies for outlasting a very stubborn and determined Florida Marlin team 4-3. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.